welcome. My name is Steve Mokaya. I'm a correspondent for the Africana Voice from Kenya. And today I'm with Senator Okiya Omtahtah, the Senator for Busia County, who also is a very outspoken activist in this country. So welcome, sir, please.
Thank you.
Great. So in the recent past, there's been a lot of talk and a lot of movements and march and demonstration against the government of William Ruto by the young people, the Gen Zs and the millennials. What's your take about that?
Yeah, I think they're important because one, Ruto rode a wave of lies to power. He made a lot of promises that he knew he could not keep. And many people voted for him, especially young people, whom he was giving a lot of hope, voted for him in the belief that he was going to deliver. But as you know, they are basically like a man telling you, vote for me when you put me in office, I'll cut a piece of the moon and hang in your village so that you never have darkness any nights. I'll hang a piece of the moon in your village. He has been unable to hang the piece of moon. So the young people are asking him, okay, you gave us promises, you have gone to cash the check, it has come back rejected, insufficient funds. So what do we do? So they're demanding that. There are also things that they have also been able to interrogate governance and seen that there's a lot of theft of public resources, and that's why the country is basically anemic, because if somebody is sucking out the blood out of the economy, literally to speak. So all these demos are demanding that there should be good governance. They're not necessarily about power. And when they say Ruto must go, I think they're saying the style of doing things is the Ruto way. They don't want it. And I see why I see it that if Ruto is serious and wants to serve this country, he can turn around. Get rid of Rutoism, become a new man, meet his Damascus, and continue governing this country according to the law, which means jailing his friends who are corrupt. But from the look of things, he might not have that capacity. So inevitably, he may just have to be forced to relinquish power. So the calls are legitimate, the calls are valid, the calls are overdue. It's up, the ball is in his court. But from what he said, when he had initially panicked, then Raila got into his fold. He looks like he thinks that he has stabilized the situation and defeated those who would require him to be out. But the truth be told, he's in power because of force of arms. People have rejected him. Even me, I'm an MP. I sit in that parliament because of the police who are keeping the protesters out. If the police were to let go, the protesters would simply kick him out of that house the way they did on 25th of June.
When you say that he doesn't have the capacity, what do you mean? And
the legitimacy. He had to be in power.
Okay.
He lost the legitimacy.
Okay.
He's staying in power through force of arms. People want a new way of doing things. They may retreat now, but they're going to come back. Yeah.
What do you mean when you say a new way? Okay, rather if
rule of law, follow the rule of law. He has refused to follow the rule of law. There are so many court orders that are being disobeyed. Look at even very critical issues like who should sit on the board of parastatals. Go on any board of a state corporation. They are being manned by people whose friends who have been failures in life, who are looting the corporation, who can't allow the managing directors to do their work. You see, the courts have said recruit competitively. He's not doing it. Look at the way they're rushing in the new Inspector General of Police. We are even having to draft petitions to get him out of power once he's sworn in. So these kind of things, he is not changing his way of doing things. He thinks that the tokenism he gave, reshuffling his cabinet, bringing in some greedy for power, people from the opposition to join him, again against the law, which says you cannot do that. In a multi-party democracy, there must be instruments of coalition. He's not even respecting that. So he thinks he's getting somewhere, but he's not getting somewhere. It might buy him time, but it will not save him. Yeah.
Okay, and actually you talked about some members of the opposition and even Raila himself. He seems to be in the government. Okay, even though sometimes he says no, but most people, if not all Kenyans, are convinced that Raila, the former prime minister, and his party, ODM, some sort of
I think Raila, the best analogy I've come across is where people are saying that Raila is like a person who is holding a bottle of frozen water. and he gets to an airport clearing point, and he's told liquids are not allowed. Then he argues that he's not having a liquid, he's having a solid, because his water is frozen, he's carrying ice. But the fellow on the counter is telling him, my friend, that is water. It's just in a few moments' time, it will be water, it will be liquid. So he's saying, but no, I'm having ice. I've just taken it from the deep freezer's ice. But for how long will it be ice? So Raila is trying to speak from both sides of his mouth, or both sides of, opposite sides of his head. But the fact of the matter is that he's, in his usual fashion, he's gone for power, he's gone into this government. He only fights government when he's not part of them. But once he becomes part of a government, he becomes the high priest of some of the excesses that this government is being accused of. So basically, I think this is what has happened, and it's very unfortunate because a man like Raila, assuming what he did was he did it in good faith, has contributed a lot in this country, irrespective of the motive. He has contributed a lot to the development of this country, irrespective of motive. So it is very sad when you see him now getting to a stage whereby he's going to have a very, very uncelebrated exit, which for me I don't think he deserves. Given his age and everything, I think he should have gone onto a pure statesman and forgotten about many, many other things that are likely to show badly on him. So that's how I would look it. But you cannot tell us that because he's holding a bottle of ice, he doesn't have a liquid. It will very soon be liquid.
Still on that, do you think, okay, actually soon after the president appointed the 4 ODM members, actually all of them were leaders in the ODM ranks, then we had Nane March, which flopped spectacularly. So do you think that Raila and ODM coming to government, it's kind of solve this problem of...
First of all, I want to correct one thing. The Nane did not flop. It was a complete success because look at the amount of police firepower that had to be mobilized. The city was shut down. The police were all over. It's like there were no devils left in the police cells or in the police quarters. They were all on the street, threatening violence, doing whatever. So it was a big success. You know, even if the demonstration did not take place physically because of the police crackdown, but the city was under lockdown. So to me, that was a very successful thing. And the Gen Z should not get discouraged that maybe they did not succeed. To me, Nane was a big success, and it's part of the pressure on this government. Downtown Nairobi was shut down. So what else does one want to see in terms of success? Let them not define. The Gen Z should not allow anybody to define success for them. Let them define success by themselves. Even the march to the airport was a very successful thing. But they were mobilized, there was a lockdown along Mombasa Port. So the very fact that the state is now fighting for survival, gasping for air, taking policemen from their usual routine jobs to come and man streets, basically having a state of emergency that has not been declared, that is success for me. And the pressure is still on. So I don't think that the Gen Z should be discouraged. And I'm talking like a person who has been involved in street protests for a long time, from 1987. I've been doing street protests in Nairobi here. So when I speak, I know what I'm speaking about. And I've seen these young people have succeeded extremely well. And I would like to encourage them to continue.
Okay.
I hear the next one is on 27th.
Actually, from
commemorating the anniversary for the promulgation of the Constitution. Because the Constitution for the Gen Z is the North Star. They're simply saying, implement this thing. But people don't want to implement that thing because they have skeletons that will begin walking from the closets if they implement that Katiba. So they are using their power to delay it. So they would like the Katiba to have a stillbirth. That's why they're coming up with amend this, amend the other, do this thing, the NADCO meeting, the BBIs, and what have you. All these things that are attempts to kill the Constitution, but they will not succeed.
People are saying that the president is trying to reintroduce the finance bill, which was rejected through amendments in Parliament. So they're watching, and as soon as maybe such amendments come to Parliament, they're very ready to go and occupy Parliament again. So my question was, do you think the president might try to reintroduce the bill?
Well, I don't speak for him, but I think he's not being creative. He thinks that the cloud has passed, that he has got the art of bowing in the storm until it passes, and he has bowed in the storm and the storm has passed, so he's stretching himself back up. But I think he's only doing a disservice to this country, and he's going to waste a lot of opportunities that he would have exploited to implement the Constitution, to ensure that the rule of law is sacrosanct in this country. The rule of law is implemented, not the rule by law. He wants the rule by law, whereby he gives orders that don't affect him, but implements them against other people, and rams them down that road using the police and the military. But it's not going to help him. He just has to implement the law the way it is, and Kenya will move on.
You've said that you've been involved actively in demonstrations in this country since the 90s, and you've been a very vocal activist in this country, and I don't know if that has got you into trouble at any point.
Yeah, trouble is there, and as the late American lawmaker used to say, good trouble. So trouble is there, but we don't cause the trouble is caused by the police. I don't have 10 teeth in my mouth, they were knocked out. My skull was broken in 2 places, I was fixed. I've been to police cells, I've been locked up 28 times and charged in court 28 times, but I've won all the cases. So, like almost there's no police station in Nairobi that I've never been a guest, I've never slept in. So all those inconveniences have come up and affected even my family life, whereby I had to conceal the identity of my kids when they were going through school, so that I cannot be associated with them, only their mother could visit them, because I feared they could be victimized. So all those kind of things have had to come and pass. But for as long as I'm alive, I just have one duty on earth: to leave the earth better than I found it. That's the duty you have, that's the duty I have, that's the duty everybody has. So it's not something that is strange for me. So I'll continue doing it until the day my Lord calls me, and I go to meet my Maker, and maybe I make a good account of my time on earth. I don't have anything much to say. Yeah.
Actually, since you became senator, have you still faced trouble? As in, have you still been sort of harassed by the government or by people you can't say exactly who they are?
Well, things have been happening around me that are suspicious. If I begin with the car accident I had, where a trailer, Kisumu, Busia Highway, where the trailer nearly reduced me to some pile of rotting flesh. Goons were mobilized to attack me in the streets of Busia when I was demanding accountability from the governor. Goons were mobilized to attack my home. My office was broken in and valuables were carried away, computers were stolen and stuff was like that.
This office?
No, down in Busia. So a lot of these things have happened. So at the end of the day, you find that there's been harassment. But we have to do what we're supposed to do. I've had to beef up my security. And one fellow never liked having security men around me. I've had to beef up security and live like a prisoner. So there's all that is coming up, but what has to be done has to be done. There are no two ways about it.
Yeah. When you say that even the accident that you were involved in Kisumu Busia Road, why do you think that even the accident was?
Well, when I went to check on the truck, who owned the truck? First of all, the way it happened, there's no reason why that truck cascaded down the way it did. Number two, when I went to check the ownership of the truck later on, I discovered the truck belonged to a well-connected member of the government. He's a member of parliament, nominated. So I had every reason to suspect that maybe, all said and done, there could be something to it that more than meets the eye. There's been the lackluster police investigations into the matter. So far I've not gotten a report. So I don't know what it is. And even all that incidents, the police has not even gotten back to me to tell me this or that or the other.
Okay.
So that's where we are.
Yeah.
But we leave it to God. We keep on trying to stay alive, to be careful, to avoid situations where you can easily be compromised. And so that's how it is.
The other time you said that people approached you to bribe you, to sort of dissuade you from what you're doing.
Yeah, there was 200 million was offered that I compromise my position. 200 million shillings, I told them no. Keep your money, I keep my country. And that's how it's going to be for as long as I'm alive. So there's been all those attempts to compromise me. Even right now, I'm fighting one at the port of Mombasa, where we've gone to court, and we are now in the Supreme Court over some dispute. Everybody, to my shock, including the Dock Workers Union, whom I thought I was fighting for dock workers' rights, have been compromised. Just last week, they served me the withdrawal notice. So I've remained all alone in that case, but I'm not budging.
What is the case about, please?
The case is about who built a second berth in Mombasa. There's a port master plan, which has said that we are going to build a second berth in either Tongokundu or Lamu. But no, not in Mombasa. They're trying to develop these other two ports. So they're saying new heavy infrastructure should have priority go there. Mombasa is congested. But some well-connected fellows have been able to be given a license, contrary to the port master plan, which says that until 2047, there should be no new major development in Mombasa. They are being given that chance. So the dock workers and others said, okay, we think this thing is going to hurt us and whatever, and so they cried for help. I also did my research. I found they had a case, so I filed a petition. Now we are in the Supreme Court. But then now they've all run away with flimsy excuses, and I've remained all alone. But I am strongest when I fight alone, because I don't depend on anybody that way. So now this one, I'm going to face up with these fellows, and I know a lot of big money has changed hands. But I'm not... for some reason, I'm not where I don't drink and I don't fall for bad money. I like money and I work very hard to make money. I even run a company whereby I burn the midnight oil to make sure that it stays afloat. But I'm not going to fall for money and do something bad. So also that these heavy offers of heavy money when you know you're struggling, are also torturous, because they're temptations. And you have to keep on saying no. You have to keep on reminding yourself and saying no. No is the way to go. You cannot pretend that you are an angel or you are whatever. This time they really morph into temptations. And so for me, it is a daily struggle that I fight. But I've got convictions that I should not compromise, because I believe that if only Adam and Eve had not compromised in the Garden of Eden, we would still be in paradise.
In this case of Mombasa Port, could you mind telling us how much you've been offered? Because you say that a lot of money has been, there's been a temptation to sort of dissuade you also in this case of Mombasa Port, rather new berth. Well,
what I've been told, there's 50 million on the table, but I can state my price. Because the issue involved about 6 billion. So I wouldn't be doing very bad mathematics if I said I need about maybe 10% of it or something like that. But anyway, I'm not going there, because to me it's against the law. The port master plan, which the people of Kenya spend a lot of money to develop, says until 2027, don't have
27 or 47, you said
2047, don't have a new berth, and you don't put heavy infrastructure in Mombasa, have it in Dongokundu or in Lamu, and unless they change that master plan, which is not easy to change also, because it went through public participation, it has got stakeholder consultations and negotiations. So unless they do that, they must live by the port master plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who do you think is this powerful individuals trying to get around the law?
Well, I don't name people. I do not name people's names, but one is now a cabinet minister. If you can do 1 + 1, you can get who it is. And it's because of him becoming a cabinet minister that the dock workers are saying they have been prevailed upon to withdraw. But I don't have that evidence. The only evidence I have is that the early attempt by the dock workers to withdraw, which was also early this year, after money had changed hands and I resisted. Because the dock workers were cheated that I had accepted, and so they just needed to withdraw. And so when they pulled out me, I received it and I said, what the hell is this? So when I asked difficult questions, they ran very fast, wrote to their lawyer saying they'd been deceived, they'd been done what, and what. So I have that letter. Because their lawyer sent it to me and said, okay, my people have clarified that they were deceived into the withdrawing. But now the second time, they have now withdrawn, they have not filed, they have not even come through their lawyer. So I don't know. But that is their choice. Everybody will answer to the Lord himself.